Welcome to Santa Cruz, Galapagos. In this quick video, I'll show you what to expect on this beautiful island, often overlooked. Being used only as a gateway into the archipelago, yet there's a lot to do on the island. It can be a destination of its own. Santa Cruz was our first destination, coming from London. If, like us, you fly into Quito, Ecuador, to catch your connection flight to the Galapagos, make sure you plan at least 2 to 3 hours at Quito Airport. Because you'd have to go through immigration first, that could take a while, like in any airport. Then queue up for a transit control card that you have to pay $20 cash, and then do a declaration of baggage inspection, which is free, but that can take a while because you have to do something online and scan a QR code and blah blah blah. It is to prevent invasive species to get into the Galapagos, like fruit or animal products. Anyway, at the airport, they have a little pet toilet. That's cute, a little bit of fake grass for doggies to poo. Now, on arrival at Baltra Airport, you'd have to pay $200 of National Park entrance fee. It used to be $100 only, but it's doubled recently. And if you want, you can ask for a little stamp in your passport. Out of the airport, you have to jump on a little bus, $5. Then on a little boat, $1. Because Baltra Airport is not actually on Santa Cruz, it is on a different island. It is located on Seymour Island. Don't be surprised if they give you a change in dollar coins. $1 coins are particularly popular on the islands. Some of them minted here, and some of them from the US. Anyway, as soon as you arrive, you'll have some sea lions welcoming you on the floor. And then you need to take a minibus all the way down south to Puerto Ayora. You might spot some of those unfinished buildings. I guess that, like in many countries, they have a different tax system for a building that's finished or unfinished. So some people never finish their buildings, just to avoid taxes. Now, Puerto Ayora, it's a proper city. Some people imagine the Galapagos to be like deserted. Not anymore, although it is still a nature reserve. Now first, let's go towards the Mercado Municipal area to find the best empanadas. Did you see the prices? $2, $2.50, $3. That was the best street food we had, to be honest. I had the pulpo empanada and a veggie one. I think this little street food market only starts at 4 p.m. Before that, you'd have fruit and vegetable sellers. Ooh, and look at the missing posters. I hope they don't have a local serial killer. Now let's go down towards the port. To give you an idea of the prices for accommodation, we had a little, like a full apartment really, because we had a kitchen, a bedroom, a bathroom, for $20 a night. It wasn't right here by the port area. It was about 10 minutes walk. In terms of accommodation and food, the Galapagos are not actually too expensive. Oh, little sharks. Baby sharks, it looks. It's probably the shark nursery down here. Yeah, the expensive thing in Galapagos, it is the excursions or the diving session and all that. That's really expensive. So they do tell you to stay 2 meters away from the animals, because there are a lot of sea lions on the ramps. And crabs. And birds or iguanas. And they can be anywhere. Taking a nap. Even in the city center. That is the thing about the Galapagos, it's that we are the visitors. The animals are home. And they're not scared of humans at all. You know the seals we see on the beaches in the UK, they're very scared of us. And they're not the most mobile animals, so they would run away, and that'll be very stressful for them. Here, they couldn't care less. You'd have to remember that for many centuries there were no humans here. And they're very well treated now, so they've not learned how to be scared of humans yet. So as we mentioned earlier, the currency here in Galapagos, it is the US dollars. A lot of places might not take cards, or if they do, they'll charge you extra, so you probably want to have some cash with you. Here is Charles Darwin. The interesting thing is that Darwin did not actually come to Santa Cruz. Oh, this one wants to come and say hello. Darwin did visit a few Galapagos Islands, but not Santa Cruz. Anyway, the cash. You might have read online when planning your trip not to bring any dollar notes that are damaged. You know, if people have graffitied on the note and stuff like that, they won't take it. And you might read online not to bring any $100 note or $50 note. That is true for mainland Ecuador. On the mainland, no one is gonna accept $100 notes, or even 50. But in the Galapagos, they would. They're used to people coming on cruise ships and stuff with big money. He looks like he's part of the statue. You'll see little signs for evacuation routes as well in case of tsunami. Anyway, the next morning, my friend went diving. Oh, I can see a pelican. And another interesting bird in that tree. Now, time for a traditional breakfast, a bolon. It is a large bowl made up of cooked green plantain banana with fat like lard or butter and cheese or pork or chicken, depending on your taste. It is served with eggs, juice and coffee. We are now heading towards Tortuga Bay. Look at those huge cactuses. Those cactuses have grown so tall because of the tortoise. The tortoises, they eat the cactus because the cactus plant is full of water. The cactuses have evolved to have a long, large trunk, so the tortoises cannot access the juicy bit. Now, this is Tortuga Bay, the best beach in the area. To get there, you'd have to walk 20 minutes in town before to get to the entrance of the park. You might even meet the park ranger. The entrance is free. Well, at least at the time of filming. Things could change one day. Once you are in the park, you have to walk 2.5 kilometers on a paved way. So that is about 35 minutes, really. If you're not great at walking, I think there are some water taxis as well that cost about $10, but I've not seen them. This is Playa Brava. There are two different beaches. The second one, Playa Mansa, we did not have time to go. Because it closes at 6 p.m., so after 5 or whatever time it might be, they don't let you go down to the second beach. Make sure you leave on time, because remember you've got 30 minutes walk to get out of the park. Of course, we were the last ones and we had to ask the park ranger to let us out. It happens a lot, apparently. This is the view from the entrance of the park. Beautiful view over the city. Tortuga Bay is meant to be a very nice spot for snorkeling, but it was too wavy for snorkeling that day. Anyway, time for a locally brewed IPA. If you check on the receipt, you'll see 50 pence for the bottle. You can get this back if you bring the bottle back. And if you want some free water, there's a drinking water station on the port. As you're not really meant to drink tap water, I think. Now, dinner time. Again, food is affordable on the island. You've got a lot of good menus with good deals. There's one particular street where all the restaurants are, and they're all in competition with one another, so they'll get you even a better deal or a free drink or whatever to get you in. Now, the next morning we had checked out of the hotel, so we used this lovely little facility on the port to store our bags. They also have toilets and showers, so that's quite convenient. Then, time to jump on a water taxi, $1, to cross over to the other side, because we're going down to Las Grietas. We decided to go on our own, but there are a lot of excursions that also take you there if you're not comfortable with going alone. By the way, those water taxis, you have to take them also when you go down to the ferries. All of them are $1 anyway. Now, out of the water taxi, you'd have to walk about 20 minutes to get down to Las Grietas. And on the way, you'll see a lovely beach. It is Playa de los Alemanes, the German beach. There were a lot of German migrants into the island, especially during the time between the two world wars with the rise of fascism in Germany. You might have heard of those German migrants with the case of the Galapagos Affair, a major murder mystery on the island of Floriana. A fascinating tale that was adapted into cinema with the movie Eden. If you wanted to hear more about that murder mystery, I'll pop the link to the live stream I did about this mystery into the description down below. Now, here we are. So you'll see the salt marshes first. And you need to buy yourself a ticket for Las Grietas. It is, well, at the time of filming, it was $10. That includes a mandatory local nature guide, in English or in Spanish, depending what you prefer. There you go. This is the beautiful spot of Las Grietas. You can go down and swim, of course. There's a spot at the top where you can leave all your stuff, and then you can dive in. It's a beautiful spot. It can get a bit busy, but I think the time you spend there is limited anyway, because most people walk back with their guide. And your guide will also tell you a lot about the nature and the animals, like the lava lizard. I think he said if they have a red neck, they are female. And you also have a beautiful view over the bay from above. Now, this tree is called a Palo Santo, a sacred tree in Latin America. You can make soap with it, and it can also be burned at religious ceremonies for fragrance and stuff. Now, time for lunch on that little street with the menu del dia, usually $6. And you can even negotiate a little extra, like a coffee or whatever. Now, that's it for Santa Cruz for now. Time to jump on a ferry to go and explore the beautiful island of Isabella. When you get to the port, don't forget to go and check in to get your thing to be able to board your ferry. The ferries can be bought from the local shops, you don't have to buy them ahead. Now, this is Isabella. On arrival at the island, you have to pay $10 tax. I won't show you too much of Isabella on this video because I have produced a full video dedicated to that island. I'll pop it in the description if you wanted to find it. Isabella is of course well worth a visit. It is much wilder than Santa Cruz. The town center is very small. And of course you'll find a lot of animals, from the crabs to the sea lions and the iguanas. This beautiful spot on Isabella is the main snorkeling point. It's called Concha de Perla. Are you doing your morning yoga, my love? Back on Santa Cruz for now. I love the sign, Mind the Tortoise. First, we went to see a cave. Not massively impressive, if I'm honest. We walked forever to go and find it. Because there are lots of excursions to big caves that are quite expensive, and someone told us, oh, you can go and see the free ones. That was rubbish, to be honest. And after that, we went to explore the Darwin Center. Charles Darwin, as we mentioned earlier, did not come to Santa Cruz, but he went to Santiago, he went to Floriana, he went to Isabella, he went to San Cristobal. He came in the 1830s on his boat called the Beagle. And he was, of course, fascinated by all those endemic species here that looked a bit like their cousin on the continent, like the iguanas. This is the little beach by the Darwin Center. See those iguanas, they're eating seaweed. Because when they first arrived, on a piece of floating wood, for example, there was nothing to eat. There was no vegetation on the island yet, only lava rocks. So they evolved to be able to eat seaweed instead. A very nutritious plant, but a bit too salty. So they had to find a way to get rid of the excess salt. So they spit every so often, which is very funny to watch. Unfortunately, I did not manage to catch it on camera. Now, time to explore the little local cemetery, a beautiful place to rest in peace. And after that, it's gonna be time to jump on another ferry to go down to San Cristobal Island. I have also done a little video of San Cristobal. I'll pop it down in the description. By the way, another little tip I forgot to mention. When you travel to the Galapagos, sometimes your phone might go to the wrong time zone. It might go into mainland Ecuador time zone, which can be a bit tricky. You might have to change it manually into your phone, not to miss any ferries or planes. Thanks for watching. Bye!